Thank you very much, Vice Solis. Thank you, Mayor Stada, and thank you to all the city council members and our water board people and the chief of police and his wonderful staff here this morning. All of you are here today. Thank you so much for being here. Gracias por su presencia. Un aplauso para todos los voluntarios de la comunidad. Y más que todo, que Curative. Let's give a big hand to Curative for being here today.
Essentially, our mission is to help end the pandemic. That's our ultimate goal.
Most people have died in these communities.
Yeah.
The highest rate. This is the second highest rate next to El Monte. And only
I used to live in El Monte. I didn't know that.
17% of the population has received vaccinations here. 17. You go to Beverly Hills, it's 40%.
Yeah.
Tell me what's wrong with that.
3 baptisms today and a wedding.
3 baptisms, a wedding, and a vaccine clinic.
And services tonight.
And services tonight.
Yeah. And anything else I forgot?
Can you tell us who you are and where
Sure.
we are and what's going on?
Sure, let me get my card here. Oh, I forgot my card.
Okay.
Father Michael Gutierrez. I'm the pastor of St. John the Baptist here in Baldwin Park.
So how did this clinic end up here?
We've been in communications with LA Voice, ourselves, the parish, and Supervisor Solis' office. We've been working on this for the last couple of months to bring it here to this community. Our community was pretty hard hit by the virus. About 13,000 were affected since the beginning of COVID, and we lost close to 300 people in this community. Many of them go to Massey or have been part of this community for years. So that's how it started.
We're having a dance party.
Yeah, I mean, some sites, they're extremely excited. They have music, food, they have everything set for everybody. All the patients, they help us, the staff, they provide food. They're just very content to get the shot.
Can you show us the van? I heard like Texino is like a van company, and then they quickly had to transform it into a vaccine clinic, a mobile vaccine clinic. So is inside the van like where the freezers are, and then where they're kind of separating the doses, or?
So this van is perfectly situated to use it for that reason, just to make the vaccines and hand it out to the nurses. We have mobile fridges and places to keep all the vaccines just at the right temperature until they're pulled out, thawed out.
What is it like for you to do this work?
I mean, it makes me really happy because I'm a resident of Southern California, of Los Angeles. Yesterday I was at a site just 10 minutes from my house, so I was serving the community around where I live in San Fernando. So it relieves me because now as I see more and more people getting vaccinated, it's like a sigh of relief that people are getting the vaccine. They're not, and a lot of them aren't afraid. They're very comfortable in getting it.
I mean, we all know it was kind of, a challenge in the beginning, understandably. Do you feel like we're kind of getting on a roll? Are there any
Definitely.
big challenges that you still foresee, or?
I think now that we're getting more momentum, we're about 4 months into the mobile vaccine units or Curative. A lot of the staff here has been doing this since then. These new recruits, they've been trained, they understand the process. So it's essentially, we're just gaining more and more momentum as we go along through the year. Our leads have been are more than capable of handling these sites. They've been to numerous sites, up to 100 or more. Yes.
Oh,
So it's like I said, it's more of a sigh of relief because I know the team can handle it. I mean, I would want to get everybody vaccinated by the end of the year, but there's going to be some stragglers because
yeah.
even if they don't accept it, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want the side effects that could come from some folks, depending on the individual. So that's the biggest hurdle, kind of just still convincing the public that it's okay to get the shot.
Yeah, because I think we don't quite feel the effects of the vaccine hesitancy yet, just because there hasn't been the supply. But
Yeah.
at some point, there's going to be enough vaccine, and we still want more people to take it.
Once we handle the brute volume of the initial few waves, and the amount of people in the public and the volume of people that want it, the vaccine is going to be here for a while.
If Curative, you guys weren't here actively finding sites that were more convenient for them, like how difficult would it be for them to get, or how, where would they have to go? Would they have to go to Dodger Stadium, or?
Yeah, so we have a number of fixed sites across Southern California. Right now, we have Dodger Stadium, Hanson Dam, so they would actually either one of those, and there are others. They would have to go to that, handle the big crowd. So this provides some relief to those sites.
Yeah, I mean,
More
if I went to this church, I would rather come here to get my vaccination
Oh, yeah.
than have to drive to Dodger
yeah.
Stadium, wait for like
It's
a
pretty
couple hours.
congested, yeah, and
Yeah.
then just to give relief
Yeah,
to
yeah.
some of these bigger sites.
Yeah,
They get really congested, and if we didn't have these, we would have more fixed sites just to help out.
Yeah, to have this, you would have figured out another way, and
Yeah.
that's the kind of the beauty of the story.
Yeah, I mean, one of Curiti's main goals is to help the community, do whatever we can to do testing, to do vaccinations, to hopefully end this pandemic pretty soon. Whatever we can do, we'll find a way.
This is what it really means to get out and really push out the equity. This is something that federal government, our governor is saying that we need to do at least 40% of all the populations that are most impacted. And a lot of it has to do with voices, hearing our voices, hearing the community and lifting up those voices.
Yeah, for sure. Can you tell us about this community?
It's a working class community. I would say the average, many are mostly renters. They're essential workers, and I would say a large proportion too are undocumented. So there's a lot of fear. They're not sure where to go for help. They're not even sure that they can obtain this vaccine. They think someone's going to charge them or it's going to impact their immigration status. None of that is true. Many of these people are essential workers, so they have no choice but to go out and work. And they, in the beginning of the pandemic, many didn't know what that meant. The exposure, and we saw numbers going way up in some of our factories, places where a lot of immigrants work. So we knew we had to work quickly to get testing, but then also go back and make sure that they got vaccines. That there's some historic good things that go on here. These people deserve the best. And they should not be treated unfairly because they don't have access to the internet or they don't have a car to go to a bigger pod or the ability to stay home and negotiate on the phone to get an appointment, because those are the stories that I've heard from hundreds of our constituents, and especially our senior citizens, many whom are still living in their home. We have to also then start to take our mobile units into the senior housing, which we started, but also knocking on doors and getting our volunteers to do that and going to places where we know people are still living at home, because these people, but for the grace of God, who knows if they would have when they would be able to get the vaccine. And we know more shipments are coming, but when they don't always come quickly to these kinds of communities. So we're making a special effort to do that.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I was wondering, do you know anybody that, because we would love to kind of talk to patients, just because
See the lady in the gray hair? She's someone in the wheelchair. I know her. She's a teacher.
Do you think she would talk to us? Because I think that's part of it too. I want to show.
Her name's Lena. We're not related, but I know her.
Is that her relative? Oh, maybe we can get both of them. Maybe we can get all of them.
Yeah, her husband.
There was a miscommunication about what he was supposed to bring. My husband had his ID. My brother-in-law does not have a valid ID, so he had his Mexican identification. So my sister was able to actually take a picture of it, and we have it on my phone.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Hola, ¿cómo están ustedes? Thank you.
And you got your shot too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you happy?
Yeah. He's happy. We're here. Go in 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Oh, so it's easy, right? Do you guys go to this church?
Yes, this is our
Okay,
parish.
how did you feel that you could get the vaccine at your parish?
¿Cómo se sintieron sabiendo que podía venir aquí y sacar la vacuna aquí? Yeah, they were happy and
Were any
Superman. No COVID.
no COVID is their superpower.
right? I mean, we signed up a week ago Sunday.
Yeah.
So 7 days ago is when we signed up, and it was like things moved fast, and we had people, and it was like, okay, there was a list, and then Monday is when it opened up. So they helped everybody put everything in the computer in the database, and so I was just so happy they called. Just like it was a sense of relief when I got my vaccine. I was so excited. and I got a little giddy. And I was like, afterwards I got tears because it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much stress I had, in trying to take care of our family. In our household, there's five adults and a child, and two of the adults were tested positive with COVID, and we were really fortunate that four of us were healthy.
Wow.
We tested.
Wow.
So just for me, a sense of relief that now I got the vaccine because I'm a teacher. So, but now that these guys get it, it really makes a difference. My concern was my brother-in-law because he's recovering from a stroke.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, my husband is also a cancer survivor.
Oh, wow. So it's like immunocompromised, right?
Yeah.
Can they tell me about like what it was like to live in a house with
¿Cómo
folks
se
that were?
sintiera ustedes viviendo en la casa sabiendo que teníamos personas que tenían el COVID?
Preocupación, con miedo. Con pendiente de cuándo me va a poner. No tengo nada, tengo que hacer la lucha.
Yeah. It was also challenging because right away I said, you're quarantined, and then I was the bad guy. So.
Oh, at least you knew, right? And you can demand and you could make them listen. So what was the strategy of that? Because
pretty much, people ate in their own rooms, so we had, most of them have rooms, and we did not eat together we have dinner together, and everybody had to eat in their rooms, and then,
kind of worried about myself like everybody is, but it's definitely the people in your family that are more vulnerable that you're just that weight being lifted off and not even thinking about all the stuff that you can do once you're safe. What do you guys other than just sort of like the relief of being safe, is there anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, we like to travel. My husband and I like to go places. So I think now we feel a little bit better. Espera un momentito, baby. We feel a little bit better that we have a little more freedom, and then I feel better that we're not, my brother-in-law kind of stays at home, that we're not bringing anything to the house.
Yeah.
I think more than anything that's,
Yeah.
socializing eventually.
Yeah. But I mean, even being able to socialize within yourselves in the home without
Right. It's like we're a little family, and it's just a little different family, but it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, you make it, you take things for granted.
Yeah. Can you ask them what they're most looking forward to do once it's safe?
¿Qué piensan ustedes que están esperando? Ya tienen la vacuna para cómo comenzar su vida de nuevo.
Pues de a trabajar, working, trabajar y estar con la familia, que tantos años, bueno, 2 años, 1 año y medio separados, sin tocarnos ni nada, ni abrazarnos.
Yeah.
He said working. What does he do for work?
He's a flooring installer, but actually he's been doing painting houses. So flooring installation, getting together with family. We haven't seen his side of the family in a long time.
Yeah.
And they live in El Monte.
Yeah. And have you not really been able to do much work because it's a little bit too dangerous?
No has trabajado por esa razón.
Por esa razón.
Yeah, it's been kind of hard for that.
Porque si trabajo, voy a las casas y hay familia, no sé qué si tienen COVID.
Yeah, so that's the other problem is that he would go to someone's home, and then it was like they had kids running around, or they had themselves. And in the beginning, when probably back in March or April last year, is he did do some work, and I think one of them had gotten COVID, and then he had to stop work.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you kind of chose to be safe, even though I know it was probably a difficult decision.
Te está diciendo que bueno que tú escogiste ser seguro.
Yeah.
Mantener esa seguridad.
Now you can go back to your normal life, whatever. Then.